Good evening, everyone. I am Aditi Ray and I lead the training and advocacy services at ARPAN. ARPAN is one of the largest NGOs in India addressing the issue of child sexual abuse. Over the last 14 years, ARPAN has trained close to 3 lakh children and adults directly and has reached out to over 1 million individuals through training and capacity building of various stakeholders pan-India. We also play a key role in public and policy advocacy on the issue of child sexual abuse. And we also develop age-appropriate resources for children and for adults as well. Reports of child sexual abuse have become an everyday reality for us. A multifaceted problem like CSA cannot be addressed only after it has happened. It needs to be addressed from a preventive lens to encourage deterrence. I am so glad to have our esteemed guests here today who play a key role in championing the cause of child protection and are here today to amplify conversations around this. We have here with us today Mr. Anil Swaroop, who is our keynote speaker this evening. Mr. Swaroop is the founder of Nexus of Good, as well as former Secretary, Government of India. In his role as a civil servant, Mr. Swaroop has played roles across various assignments, both at the state and at the central government level. During his final years of his career with the central government, Mr. Swaroop has served as the Secretary to Government of India in the Ministry of Coal, where he handled the aftermath of the coal scam. Thereafter, he served as Secretary School Education, where he fostered public-private partnerships to improve quality of school education across the country. As a strategic thinker and an innovative leader, he has won several awards and nominations. The prominent ones being nominated as one of the policy change agents by the Economic Times during the years 2010, 2012, 2015, and 2016. He was also selected as one of the 35 action heroes in India for India Today's 35th annual edition. Mr. Swaroop has also authored 2 very interesting and inspiring books based on his journey as a civil servant. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. On our panel today, we also have with us Dr. Swati Popat-Vats, the founder president of Early Childhood Association India, an association that works for quality care and education of our youngest citizens. Dr. Vats is president of Podar Education Network and is also the national representative for the World Forum Foundation. She is nursery director of Little Wonders Nursery UAE. She has received many accolades and awards for her contribution to early childhood education and has been conferred the Fellowship of Honor from the New Zealand Tertiary College. Dr. Vats has authored many books for parents and children and is a strong advocate of nature-based learning in the early years. Welcome, Dr. Vats. Thank you for joining us today. We have with us Ms. Manisha Arondikar, Principal Dr. S. Radhakrishnan International School, a member of the Bombay Cambridge Group of Schools, Mumbai. Ms. Manisha has been with the BCG Group of Schools for the past 25 years. Commencing her career as a teacher, she steadily grew up the ranks while handling multiple positions of responsibilities. A mentor for many, she is a visionary and through her collaborative and engaging philosophy promotes transparency in her workplace. Actions speak louder than words is her motto. And she believes in doing simple things differently while creating a great influence on the student body. Under her leadership, the school has received many accolades from renowned educational organizations, while she herself is the recipient of the Leader for Change Award by Project Education Delhi. She has contributed to articles in leading education magazines and writes her own blog. The institution is progressing globally to her decisive and a forward-thinking approach towards education. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for joining us today. Mr. Shailendra Sharma, Principal Advisor, the Directorate of Education, Government of Delhi, was to join us today. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to join us due to a personal emergency. We have with us, representing Directorate of Education in Delhi, Mr. B.P. Pandey, Officer on Special Duty with DOE Delhi. Mr. Pandey has a rich experience of close to 3 decades, encompassing various facets of education, from student interaction, leadership, curriculum design, implementation of newer pedagogies, and teacher training. His experience of working with students across different age groups and his stint as Under-Secretary at National Council for Teacher Education has paved the way for his deep understanding of nuances of ground reality and needs for students in order to achieve the holistic goals of education. He has been leading the pilot mentorship project of Delhi government, comprising of 200 mentors since its inception in 2016. He has also played a pivotal role in framing and implementation of the happiness and entrepreneurship curriculum, therefore changing the face of government schools in Delhi. Now, he is currently working in delivering the new normal in the field of education and is committed towards quality education through the virtual platform. Thank you so much, Mr. Pandey, for joining us today at a very short notice. Thank you so much to the audience for joining us again. We're sure you'd find this session extremely interesting this evening. With this, I'd hand over to Mr. Anil Swaroop to give his keynote address for the evening. Thank you, sir.
A very good evening to all of you. My compliments to Arpan for taking this mantle and organizing this week-long event to sensitize people about a very, very crucial issue. I recall when I took over as Secretary of School Education, I must confess that I was not aware of this problem at all. And that's the basic problem, lack of awareness about existence of such a problem. And I'm thankful to Aditi in person and Arpan in particular, that when she met me, she tried to explain a few things to me. But I really got convinced when I did visit the Arpan office much later. And I'm glad that someone from Radhakrishnan International School is here, because that's where I got my real learning. I sat in a class where a session was on for children. I think they were about 10, 11 years, and they were being taught about understanding of sexual abuse. I was pleasantly shocked to see how easily it was being conveyed by the person who was talking. I had suggested to Arpan at that point in time, why don't you record this and communicate to others? But I'm sure there must be many, many more people who are doing this job. But I think the first thing that needs to happen in this is to first accept the existence of this problem. The real problem is that we sometimes try to push such problems under the carpet and think that they don't exist. So without accepting existence of a problem, I don't think a problem can ever be solved. So that's the first step, to acknowledge the existence of such a problem, though it may not be really visible for very good reasons, because children are of that age that they are not as communicative on an issue which is virtually a social taboo. They would not want to discuss it with anybody. So we have to sensitize them to understand the real problem. But before we do that, I said, accept the existence of that problem. And next step, of course, is instead of trying to handle the problem per se, if you sensitize the children, it's the preventive mode. And that's what I liked when I visited that school, because I remember every word spoken in that class with regard to what should be done, what should not be done, how to perceive a touch. I must confess, I was totally not aware of this aspect of human existence or child existence and the trauma that the child goes through. And this needs to be conveyed. I'm so glad that Arpan is doing what it is doing. I've myself written about it. I've spoken about it. But I think Arpan can only pivot it. Everyone needs to join hands. And I'm so glad that so many people have joined today. Each one of them would already know that this problem exists. I think they don't need to sensitize. They have to become the torchbearers thereafter. They will have to go out and reach out to as many people as possible, first to make them understand about the existence of a problem. And then, through the tools that have been developed by institutions like Arpan, use those tools to sensitize children. And more than that, I'm glad there are some parents also today in this webinar. The parents have to accept this. Parents have to be sensitized as much. I don't know how that is being done right now, because children, of course, they come to the school, you can put through a classroom and tell them. But how do you sensitize parents? Because until the parents are sensitized, they will then be the next persons to push it under the carpet. If my understanding of the problem is correct, most of the child abuse comes through people who are known, who are close relatives. If that be the case, then the role of parents become even more important. Because the normal psychology of a child would be, should I go and complain against a relative to somebody? And until the child feels comfortable in communicating with the parents, he will never do it. So that barrier that exists between the child and the parent has somehow to be broken. And in this, the initiative cannot be taken by the child. Child can be sensitized, all right, but the barrier has to be broken by the parent. They should be receptive to such a conversation. In fact, I would suggest that conversation should be initiated by the parent himself, so that the child feels that he can communicate with the parents. So I mean, there are laws relating to child abuse, as there are laws in many other cases, but laws normally don't solve all the problems. Laws come into being when a crime has actually, or when an event has happened. The best effort is to see how it could be prevented. So here, I think the stakeholders, like the child, of course, he's the principal player there. He has to be sensitized. Of course, the teachers and the principals, they have to be sensitized. They have to understand the importance of it, because it's not a part of the curriculum, so to say. People will say, because we are so obsessed with the marks that we get in the class, we push this under the carpet. Why waste time on this? Because it won't impact the numbers that you get finally in the exam. I can tell them very clearly now that I've understood the subject, it does impact the numbers. If a child is not psychologically settled, do you think he'll be able to learn and give out and appear in the examination? A psychologically hurt child will be much worse off. So my advice to parents is, please don't look at it from the point of view of pure marks. Even they will get impacted if the child is not felt secure. This is true of adults also. If there is a sense of insecurity, the performance gets impacted. So is the case with a child. So hence it is, to my mind, is extremely, extremely important for the child to be sensitized, for the parents to be sensitized. Of course, the principals and the teachers have to play an important role. And finally, I think we have to go beyond the school. I think it has to become a social conversation. If it doesn't become a social conversation, it will still be a taboo to be discussed. The moment you start discussing it openly, I think the child will become very forthright, and he'll come automatically and speak about it. Because it's not merely a taboo in the family. Some of it can be done away with through conversation. But if it socially ceases to be a taboo, then it will be discussed. And my understanding of all crimes, not only this, of all wrongs, in fact, is if you bring about some sort of a psychological transparency in it, the problem gets by and large sorted out. It is when you push anything under the carpet in any domain that it comes out in a much worse form subsequently. So my suggestion to all of you, I am nobody to guide you. You are already converted, as it were. But my suggestion to you would be, you have to take this task forward to many, many more people. It has to become a national movement in the sense of everyone trying to understand this problem, because we are still not very clear what is the extent of the problem. In the surveys and all, everyone doesn't come out openly because of the social taboo that we have. The real extent will come out if everyone opens up. And if everyone opens up, I'm sure, and I saw it in the government also, the moment one brought in transparency, much of the corruption went down. It's the opacity that brings it all the wrongs and the corruption. So throw it open, discuss it, let it not be a taboo. I convey all the best to you. I would have loved to continue because this is very close to my heart, but unfortunately I have to go for an emergent meeting. I would have loved to come here. All the best to you. And you have brilliant people. I mean, I'm a great admirer of Swati ji. I'm a great admirer. I just heard about Manisha ji. They are the people who've actually done things. I'm a person who only talks. I haven't done much of walking this. These are people who walked this, who've done this, will carry much more conviction when they speak. I'm just a speaker. Thank you very much for inviting me here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir. Your guidance and support on this very important issue has been extremely valuable. And like you said, yes, we all need to open up about this. We all need to break the taboo. And that is really the objective of Child Safety Week, to mainstream conversations on child safety and child sexual abuse. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Let's now begin our conversation on what the experience has been so far for our esteemed panel of educators. Manisha ma'am, how do you think schools can play an active role in integrating child protection? The Bombay Cambridge Gurukul group of schools has been a pioneer in student safety programs. How have these 5 schools integrated personal safety education after Arpan trained the teachers many, many years ago? What has been your experience so far?
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, am I audible? Yes. Okay, so schools being an integral part of child's education, I feel it's a responsibility of the school to educate child to take care of himself or herself. Formative years of the child development, right from 3 years to 16, 17 years are spent in school, and that is why it's the need of the hour to train students about personal safety education. And schools need to be proactive in this approach. We cannot wait for somebody else to impose it or to force it on schools, but because school is an inseparable factor and of the society, and that's the reason schools have to come forward in creating this awareness amongst their students and parents. That's what I feel. And yes, Aditi, you said we have been the pioneers in instilling this personal safety education program in our schools. Uh, Definitely, I feel when there is a will, there is a way. And that's what exactly happened with Bombay Cambridge group of schools. Okay, it was year 2009 when there were very slim chances of people talking about sexual abuse. But we are fortunate to have Miss Achama Matthew, who is our CEO, who initiated this movement and introduced personal safety education program in our schools. And our school was a pilot, like it was a pilot project for our school. And like initially, yes, team of Arpan used to come and like take sessions with students. And at that point, it was quite new for all of us. So we were also interested that how they are going to, and that time technology was not there, so she used to bring the charts, and she used to teach personal safety rules and show private body parts like on the chart and explain it to students. So slowly, this movement was got a momentum, and a group of teachers were trained, and then slowly all the teachers of primary section were trained. And yes, it was difficult for teachers to answer student questions while explaining, they teach, I am the boss of my body, and some students of first and second standard, 6 and 7 years old children, they used to say, no, but my mama told me God is the boss, or my mother is the boss of my body. So it was really difficult, and sometimes very funny incidences also happened while taking these sessions. But slowly teachers also got used to it, and they knew how to handle these queries. And yes, at the same time, there was a lot of resistance from parents side, okay, especially when we gave worksheets mentioning private body parts. Okay, some parents were so adamant that they didn't want their child to attend PSC classes, and they said, nahi, I don't want my child to attend this because we do not talk about these things at home. So you please keep my child away from these classes and do not allow him to sit for these classes. Yeah, but yes, time passed by, and some disclosures were attended to in a very very sensitive manner. And then I think that acceptance, as Anil ji said just now, that acceptance that such things are happening, and somewhere that acceptance was required, and slowly this acceptance creeped in, and gradually everybody started seeing a positive difference in students confidence level, the way they expressed themselves, and PSC became an integral part of our curriculum. There were no two thoughts about taking personal safety education ahead, and I think when there is a strong conviction, we find the method as well. So from last 3 years, we have also introduced social emotional learning curriculum, and personal safety education is a part of social emotional learning curriculum. We have allocated a specific time, 2 periods per week, and designed a special curriculum in order to take care of students' social emotional well-being. Talking about experience, the whole episode of personal safety education for students was really enriching, for us, and gave me as a person a new perspective, as a person, as an educator. I remember when we started this movement, when we started with this PSC classes, a group of 20-25 parents came to school like a morcha and complaining about PSC sessions and saying that they don't want their child to be taught this curriculum. They don't want their children to learn about private body parts. And they argued so much that for a moment, even I started doubting the need of these personal safety education modules or classes. See, 10, 12 years back, nobody would openly talk about private body parts. But thanks to Arpan for throwing light on such unspoken and unusual topics, at that moment. when we started teaching private body parts, it took time for teachers to say it easily, you know, just as we have hands, we have eyes, we have ears, there are some parts called as vagina or penis, you know, but it took time for teachers to understand and, like, you know, say it very openly. Students of class 1 and 2, or, like, you know, primary section with whom we started these sessions, they started using this terminology very easily, you know. So, like, instead of saying she touched me here and there, they used to say, like, you know, she touched my, like, you know, vagina, or he touched my penis, you know. So not here or middle part, something like that, not that terminology. So it felt good when students are able to express, they were able to express themselves and say it so clearly. And teachers also got confidence, and, you know, and they became more comfortable while teaching or naming these body parts very frankly to our students. And we realized that it was not a concern for students, but it was challenging for adults, because we have never been brought up to say the names of private body parts. Parents also started seeing the difference, and slowly they started appreciating the efforts put in by school, you know, to create this awareness. Right now it's a part of our curriculum, as I said, and we do parent orientation, and we give them a complete idea about what PSC is all about and why is it necessary. We are educating parents along with students. It simply feels good when a student comes and says that I don't like my uncle coming home, please talk to my parents. It gives you a sense of achievement when students are aware and not scared to talk about these issues. And I know Arpan is doing continuous research, you know, constant research on these and finding innovative ways to do this personal safety education. So they come and meet our students who have gone through these batches, because now first batch of students who had been through these Arpan, they have already passed out. And when Arpan people come and when they talk to our students, they can see the difference, and they say that, ma'am, students are so much aware and they are so open, and they can share that, you know, there is high level of awareness, they can share their feelings, they feel so comfortable, and there is no inhibition. And that's what, like, you know, it feels like really good that students are not shy, students are able to express, so there is a lot of awareness. And truly, like, this personal safety education has broadened my views as a person, you know, and taught me to deal with different challenges, like, may it be from parents, teachers, or students, and that too with strong conviction. So today, if I say, like, personal safety education or talking about child sexual abuse, there is no second thought. Yes, it is must, and we have to take a lead. And especially when it comes to schools, yes, we have to be proactive. We cannot wait for any other orders to come, because if we don't, then who else? That's what I feel.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Manisha ma'am. I think great insights there. मैं इस पॉइंट पे ऑडियंस को बताना चाहूंगी कि जैसे मैम ने कहा, अर्पण ने कुछ साल पहले बीसीजी स्कूल्स में एक रिसर्च किया था, ना सिर्फ बच्चों के साथ लेकिन टीचर्स और पेरेंट्स के साथ भी। और बच्चों में तो हमें वो कॉन्फिडेंस, वो सेल्फ एस्टीम दिखा, एक हेल्प सीकिंग बिहेवियर का जो एलिमेंट बहुत जरूरी होता है बच्चों के लिए, वो दिखा। लेकिन उसके साथ साथ हमने देखा कि पेरेंट्स और टीचर्स कह रहे थे कि इस प्रोग्राम की वजह से वो बच्चों के साथ अब आसानी से कम्युनिकेट कर पा रहे थे। इट हैड ओपन द कम्युनिकेशन चैनल्स फॉर बोथ पेरेंट्स एंड टीचर्स। एंड जैसे कि मैम ने अभी शेयर किया, ये एक जर्नी है। हम हमारे कल्चर में हम सबको ये इनहिबिशंस होती हैं इन चीजों के बारे में बात करने की, प्राइवेट बॉडी पार्ट्स के नाम्स लेने की। ये बहुत जरूरी होता है कि बच्चे को जैसे उनके हाथ पैर के नाम पता है, उन्हें अपने प्राइवेट बॉडी पार्ट्स के नाम भी पता होना चाहिए, ताकि जब कोई असुरक्षित परिस्थिति में बच्चा सही तरीके से आके आपको बता पाए और आपको सही समय पे पता चले। थैंक यू सो मच मनीषा मैम। आई थिंक वेरी वेरी वैल्यूएबल इंसाइट्स। पांडे जी, दिल्ली के सारे मेंटोर टीचर्स के साथ एक ट्रेनिंग हुई है पर्सनल सेफ्टी एजुकेशन पे, वहां पे एक्सपीरियंस क्या रहा है? व्हाट हैज वर्कड वेल, व्हाट नीड्स टू बी डन डिफरेंटली, व्हाट हैव द टीचर्स शेयर्ड?
थैंक यू आदिति। इट्स अ ग्रेट अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर मी कि शैलेंद्र जी इस तरह से कुछ परिस्थितियां रही हैं, हालांकि उनके फादर अब बेटर हैं, बावजूद इसके वो नहीं, और ये अपॉर्चुनिटी मुझे मिली कि आप लोगों के साथ इंटरेक्ट कर पाऊँ, अपनी फीलिंग को बता पाऊँ, और ये अपॉर्चुनिटी को मैंने उसको ग्रैब किया और उस चीज को हमने बताया. Really, although the department has been conducting with such a type of training through SCRT, DIET people, लेकिन जो content shared by the Arpan was relevant, very comprehensive and focused, no doubt. सबसे पहले मैं मेंटर टीचर्स प्रोग्राम क्या है, क्योंकि जब आप लोगों के साथ एक मीटिंग हुई हमारी, और ये तो एक स्कूल की बात है, हमारे पास लगभग 55 और 60,000 टीचर्स हैं जिनको कि ये ट्रेनिंग देना था, और अबाउट 16 लाख स्टूडेंट्स जो हमारे दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट की उन तक पहुंचे और उनके पेरेंट्स तक पहुंचे. तो ये बहुत ज्यादा ये सोचने का हुआ कि कैसे ये पहुंचा जाए इतने बड़े. हालांकि ट्रेनिंग हमारी होती है, टीचर्स की ट्रेनिंग होती है, SCRT 2 आवर्स 3 आवर्स के लिए उनको एक करना होता है, लेकिन वो कितने इफेक्टिव है ये नहीं हम लोग जान पा रहे. तो ये एक मेंटर टीचर्स प्रोग्राम है जो हमारे यहाँ, जो कि हर मेंटर्स जो कि वो स्कूल के टीचर्स ही हैं उनको हमने डिपार्टमेंट में लिया है, और हर एक स्कूल को उनको दिया गया है 5 to 6 schools फॉर एकेडमिक सपोर्ट टू ऑल स्टेक होल्डर्स, कंटेंट्स एंड करिकुलम डेवलपमेंट के लिए, या ट्रेनिंग इम्पार्ट करने के लिए, या जो भी इनिशिएटिव्स दिया गया है उसको इम्पार्ट करने के लिए, वहां देखने के लिए, मॉनिटरिंग एंड ऑब्जर्वेशन के लिए. तो ये एक अच्छा तरीका था कि हम मेंटर्स के थ्रू वहां पहुंच पाए सभी जगह, क्योंकि उनको ट्रेनिंग का भी था. और हमारे यहाँ एक कुछ सिस्टम बना हुआ है कि ये मेंटर टीचर्स अपने हर स्कूल में एक TDC होते हैं, टीचर्स डेवलपमेंट कोऑर्डिनेटर. ये मेंटर टीचर्स उनके साथ कनेक्ट होते हैं, प्रिंसिपल के साथ कनेक्ट होते हैं, अदर टीचर्स के साथ कनेक्ट होते हैं, और एक आर्ट भी होता है, हमारे एकेडमिक रिसोर्स टीम होते हैं हर एक स्कूल में, जो ये गवर्नमेंट ने इनिशिएटिव्स दिया है. तो वो हर एक मंथ में आर्ट के साथ में मीटिंग होती है, और जो भी ये थीम होते हैं, जो भी चीज होते हैं, उनके साथ डिस्कशन किया जाता है, और वो पूरे स्कूल में होते हैं. तो ये एक हमारे पास अच्छा एक सोर्स था जो कि हम मेंटर टीचर्स के थ्रू हम जा पाएंगे और इसको हम प्रॉपर कर पाए. इसीलिए अर्पण को हमने सबसे पहले ये ऑफर किया कि मेंटर टीचर्स को अगर ये हम प्रॉपर एक ट्रेनिंग दे पाए, ताकि हर एक स्कूल के हर कोने में हर चीज स्टेक होल्डर्स के साथ हम जुड़ पाए. और ये अर्पण ने बहुत ही बखूबी इसको निभाया, जो कि उन्होंने अपने उनके जो कंटेंट्स रहे, उनके जो किट्स रहे, जो कि सारे मेंटर टीचर्स को प्रोवाइड किया गया था, और वो मुझे पता है कि आप लोग वहां से लाए थे, सबको एक एक डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया था. तो वो किट्स भी हर एक स्कूल को जब वो दिखाया गया तो वो बहुत रेलिवेंट था, बहुत ही अच्छा लगा. ये रहा है, लेकिन अभी भी बहुत सारे कुछ चैलेंजेस हैं जो हमारे स्कूल्स में, जैसे अभी मनीषा जी ने भी बताया है और अनिल सर ने भी इस चीज के लिए बहुत जिक्र किया कि हमारे लिए गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में जो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं एक ऐसे बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं जहां की और भी लोग ओपन नहीं हो पा रहे हैं. तो एक तो गवर्नमेंट स्कूल का अपना एक शेड्यूल है, बहुत हेक्टिक शेड्यूल था, और दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट ने अभी इस चीज को भी इंट्रोड्यूस किया, जैसे हैप्पीनेस करिकुलम, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप माइंडसेट करिकुलम, या अदर करिकुलम जो अभी देशभक्ति करिकुलम ऑन पाइपलाइन में है. तो इनके जो एक शेड्यूल के बीच में इस तरह की ट्रेनिंग स्कूल लेवल पर करना एक हमारे लिए चैलेंज रहा है, और था भी. हालांकि कुछ हमारे मेंटर टीचर्स ने बड़ा अच्छे ढंग से उसको निभाया था. दूसरा जो सभी लोग बोल रहे हैं कि एक्सेप्टेंस जो अभी है सोसाइटी में, हेजिटेशन है, माइंडसेट का प्रॉब्लम है टीचर्स के साथ या किसी भी चीज, जो कि वो थोड़ा सा ये अभी भी प्रॉब्लम लग रहा है. एक तो ये है कि इसको HOS और टीचर्स जो इस सेंसिटिव इशू को, क्योंकि हमारे जो पेरेंट्स हैं, कम से कम एक पब्लिक स्कूल के या प्राइवेट स्कूल के जो पेरेंट्स हैं उसमें से काफी डिफरेंसेस हैं. हमारे यहाँ अगर कुछ भी बात होते हैं तो जो झुग्गी झोपड़ी या रिसेटलमेंट कॉलोनी या इस तरह के पेरेंट्स हैं वो इमीडिएटली लड़ने आ जाते हैं, जैसे अभी मनीषा जी बता रहे थे. तो इसलिए ये चीजों को बच्चों के साथ शेयर करना थोड़ा सा चैलेंजिंग रहा है हम लोगों के लिए. इवन कि स्टूडेंट्स भी अपने आप में हेजिटेट करते हैं बात करने में, बोलने में, खुलने में. तो ये सारी हमारे पास रही है. एक तो एज भी एक प्रॉब्लम है कि हम जो सीनियर गर्ल्स हैं उनके साथ हम बड़ा इजियर रूप से बात कर सकते हैं, जूनियर के साथ नहीं कर सकते हैं. फिर एक और भी चीज है कि जो हमारा मेल स्कूल है, जो कि बॉयज स्कूल है, वहां इसको बड़ा डिफरेंट वे में लिया जाता है। या फिर कई हमारे कोएड स्कूल हैं जहां की मेल टीचर अगर गर्ल्स के साथ बात करें, ये एक प्रॉब्लम रही है हमारे लिए। या इसी तरह से फीमेल टीचर और बॉयज के साथ बात करें तो वो अभी एक माइंड सेट का हमारे लिए प्रॉब्लम है। हम अपने इस करिकुलम में, जो अभी आपसे बात हो रही थी आदिति बहुत अच्छे ढंग से, कि उस करिकुलम में हम इसको, जैसे अभी मनीषा जी ने कहा कि हम सोशल वेलफेयर वेलबींग की बात कर रहे हैं, पर्सनल इसको, और पर्सनल सेफ्टी एजुकेशन को भी उसमें हमने लिया है, प्रॉपर लिया है कि इस चीज को हमें रखना पड़ेगा और इसको हम नर्सरी से शुरू करें। जब बच्चे ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, जानने की कोशिश करते हैं हमारा पार्ट क्या है, ताकि बच्चे खुल पाए इस चीज में, कि आगे चलकर हेजिटेशन ना हो। कि ये हम लोगों ने किया है। लेकिन अभी भी एक जो इशू है कि हम उस लार्ज प्लेटफॉर्म पर 50 टीचर्स बैठे हैं और वहां हम उसको ट्रेनिंग दे रहे हैं। मेंटर टीचर्स ऐसे सक्सेस हो रहे हैं जो अर्पण बार बार हमें, जयनीता का आपका फोन आता है और हम लोग उस चीज पर वर्क करते हैं। जैसे अभी भी आप ये एक चाइल्ड सेफ्टी, जो पर्सनल सेफ्टी एजुकेशन पर एक वीक मनाया है, उस चीज को भी। लेकिन अभी तो खैर हमारे स्कूल में बच्चे हैं नहीं, क्योंकि हमारे तो अभी बंद हैं। इस पर पर्सनली हमारे डिप्टी सीएम जी फोकस कर रहे हैं कि इस चीज को हमें किया जाए। तो नीड है कि हम 1-to-1 टीचर्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट करें। कहाँ हेजिटेशन है, जैसे आपके बहुत सारी चीज टीच से मिला कि क्या यूज कर सकें एप्रोप्रिएट वोकैबुलरी उस चीज के लिए, क्या प्रिवेंटिव मेजर हो सकता है, एक्ट क्या है, ये सारी चीजों को जो कि अभी टीचर्स नहीं जान पा रहे हैं, और उस चीज को, तो इस चीज के लिए हमें 1-to-1 टीचर्स के साथ, और 56 to 60,000 टीचर्स हैं, उन टीचर्स तक हमें पहुंचना, ये थोड़ा सा अभी है चैलेंजेस। तो मैं थैंक यू कि इस तरह का है, फिर भी हम लोग कर लेंगे, आप लोगों का सहयोग रहेगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू सो मच पांडे जी। आई थिंक एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट आपने रखा कि गवर्नमेंट के बगैर हम इतने सारे बच्चों के पास नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे, और ये बहुत बहुत जरूरी है कि हम एक साथ काम करें ऐसे विषयों पे। एंड वी आर रियली ग्लैड टू हियर कि पर्सनल सेफ्टी अब आप करिकुलम में भी इंक्लूड करना चाह रहे हैं, स्टेट करिकुलम में। आई थिंक दैट्स एक्सट्रीमली एनकरेजिंग टू हियर। एंड फॉर द ऑडियंस, जैसे कि पांडे जी ने कहा, अर्पण ने हमारा जो अनुभव रहा है इतने सालों में, इतने सारे बच्चों के साथ काम करते हुए, हमारा जो अनुभव रहा है, उस हिसाब से हमने बहुत सारी रिसोर्सेज बनाई हैं जो बच्चों की उम्र के हिसाब से हैं। हर टीचर्स को हम लेसन प्लान देते हैं हर एक एज ग्रुप के लिए। एंड वी आर रियली ग्लैड टू हियर दैट मेंटर टीचर्स इन दिल्ली हैव फाउंड दैट एक्सट्रीमली यूजफुल। सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दैट फीडबैक, पांडे जी। Dr. Butts, how do you think an education association like ECA can play an active role in integrating child protection? And again, what has been the experience so far?
First of all, I was very happy to hear the thoughts of Manisha ji and Pandey ji. पांडे जी, आप अगर नर्सरी का करिकुलम बना रहे हैं तो ECA आपको जरूर मदद कर सकता है। महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट का भी जब इंटरनेशनल एजुकेशन बोर्ड बना, तब हमने उनका अर्ली चाइल्डहुड करिकुलम बनाया था। मैं आपका कांटेक्ट डिटेल्स अदिति जी से कांटेक्ट करूंगी।
श्योर या थैंक यू।
ECA has been involved a lot in reaching out to children and teachers especially. We used a lot of the work that I had done in 2005. So in 2005, I came out with a Good Touch, Bad Touch video, which was done with Gully Gully Sim Sim Muppets. And to help children understand what is touch, that there can be bad and good touch. I know a lot of organizations say that you should not say bad touch or good touch, you should say appropriate and inappropriate. But we deal with children who are almost 2 years old. So we are starting their education from 2 years old. And at that age, they don't understand the word appropriate or inappropriate, but they understand good and bad, because that is the vocabulary a parent uses with them. Another thing which we face, because we are working with such young children, 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, is that they are not able to say the body part's name. And so we started teaching them to point to the body part, because vocabulary shouldn't become a deterrent in a child telling about its problems. And so we taught them 4 body parts which nobody should touch you on and which you shouldn't touch anybody on. Because in our research, we found out that many of the perverts were not touching the children, but asking the children to touch them. So that is also another thing that needs to be covered in the education of very young children. So the 4 body parts, we kept it very simple, and we used to point and teach them that your lips, your chest, your bottoms, and the part between your legs, pointing to it. This helped solve a lot of issues, like we used to work with a lot of balwadis, where parents balk at the thought of mere bachche ko kya sikha rahe ho. When we started using these kind of things in Telangana, we have worked with government schools in Telangana, we worked with schools in Bangalore, in Mumbai. We noticed that parents were much more receptive. And we also explained to them why it is important for very young children like this to be taught about body safety. Because touch is a very important need in the early years. The brain thrives on touch. So the brain makes you want and thrive on touch. That's why you massage children. That's why children thrive on hugs. They like to be kissed because brain development is at its peak in the first 6 years, and touch is a very important component. So when their children are touched, they don't know whether the person touching them is doing them good or doing them bad. And when we explain this to parents, that your child's body thrives on touch, so child will have to be taught that the touch that the child is being given by to, is it good or is it bad? I have written 3 books on this. One is called The Secret Touch. One is called When Touch Becomes Trouble, and The New Normal. It's so sad that at such a young age, we have to teach children to keep themselves safe, because our conditions are like that in today's day and age, where children are separated from their parents at a very young age because both parents are working. So you're putting your child in a daycare, you're sending your child to a preschool where your child is away from you. So it becomes very important to teach children about personal safety. And ECA started working with preschools where the very youngest children are going, because the staff of those preschools also needed to be trained. It can be a bus attendant. आप इतना छोटा बच्चा है, बस में जाता है, तो how you bring them down, how you hold their body and bring them down from the bus, what body parts not to touch, how not to, what are the things not to do with a child. Because it's very natural for adults in India to tickle children, and then even if the child says stop, 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 you don't stop. So the child feels that adult mere saath kuch bhi kar sakta hai. And that is where the wrongs start. So ECA also did not only a campaign on child sexual abuse, but it also did a campaign on why you should not hit children. Because when you start hitting your child, you are making your child an easy victim for others to threaten and overpower. Because जब आप मार के अपने बच्चों को सिखाते हो, तो बच्चा समझ जाता है कि बड़े मेरे से जो बड़े होते हैं वो मारेंगे मुझे, तो उस मार के डर से मैं उनको कुछ भी करने दूंगा. I wrote a book on Gijubai Badeka, Once Upon a Story. And Gijubai Badeka in that time, 1920, had made a Vanar Sena of children who will come and complain to him about parents who were doing wrong to children. I think this is the right time for another Vanar Sena, for us to create, that children can come and tell us if something wrong is being done to another child. Because as children grow older, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, they talk more to their friends than their parents. So it is very, very important to create the kind of environments that children can become comfortable in. And as Pandeyji said, a lot of teachers, as Manisha ji said, parents are not very comfortable. See, this is a country called India. We may have the Kama Sutra, but we are very, very closed when it comes to talking about personal things. It's our culture, it's our tradition. Now, to open up this culture and tradition, we will have to do it in our own way. We cannot use global practices in India. We will have to adapt them to the Indian mindset. And that is why we did these two things, that agar aapko naam nahi lena hai body part ka, to point karke sikhao bachcho ko, because that solves the purpose also. And when Pandeyji was saying that they want to start for 3-year-olds, we started for 2-year-olds, because it's very, very important that the younger the child understands that there are some things that you can't do to me, the better it is. There are also 4 things that ECA teaches every adult. Number 1, don't force children to kiss or hug anybody, even if it is a relative. Train the people around you. If you want to hug my child, ask permission. That's very important. So the child grows up to understand that any adult cannot do yeah and kiss me and hug me, because then you are opening up that child to all those problems. Number 2 is please don't keep secrets. The one of the first thing these perpetrators does is to tell the child, "Mummy ko bataya to dekhna, ye tumhare aur mere beech mein secret hai." So don't keep secrets. Tell the child that in this house we don't keep secrets. You have to come and tell everything to me. So it's very, very important when basic things like these are done. This is what ECA believes in. I know Arpan has always been our friend, our support, and in every conference of ours, Arpan has launched something or the other to do with child sexual abuse. And for us, it's very important that we reach out to every preschool in this country, to every preschool owner, and to every parent and child, because the younger the children, the more threat there is about child sexual abuse, because these children can't complain because they don't know that something wrong has been done to them. And we have seen the impact of our work when parents have come and told us that my child immediately told that uncle, "Don't touch me here." No. So it is very, very important that whatever works for us is the right way. There is no right or wrong when it comes to child sexual abuse education. We have to look at whatever works and whatever keeps our children safe.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. I think some very, very important points raised here, Swati ji. The most important being, this is a very, very critical point here, and really, really glad to hear our panelists talk about teaching children at a very, very, very young age, as early as possible. There is a myth that this is an issue that is only relevant to adolescents. We should start teaching them at that age. No, let's start teaching them at the age of 2, 3, 4. Extremely critical. And like Swati ji said, उस उम्र पे बच्चा समझ नहीं पाता है कि जो हो रहा है वो गलत हो रहा है. तो उस उम्र पे बहुत जरूरी है कि हम बच्चों को सिखाएं कि ये acceptable नहीं है. And like Swati ji said, even in the personal safety curriculum, a key rule is that no one can look, touch, or talk about your private body parts. And you cannot look or touch or talk about your private body parts. Extremely critical. And yes, teach them the names of their private body parts, or teach them a way to identify what are private body parts, whether it's by pointing, whether it is by telling them that the parts of your body that are covered by undergarments are private body parts. But this is critical so that children are able to come and tell us. So extremely critical. And I do hope that the audience will take this key takeaway, that it is just never too early to start.
And
Manisha,
Aditi, Aditi,
yes, Swati ji.
I must congratulate Arpan. I always never liked the term sex education. Many people call this education sex education, and that is where the whole problem lies. You are not teaching children about sex, you are teaching children safety. And that's why personal safety, which is a terminology used by Arpan, is something that I would like to really appreciate, that gives a right understanding of what exactly this entire training is all about.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That's very encouraging. And yes, This is absolutely right. We are not teaching children about sexuality. This is not sex
Yes.
education. But this is just about telling children, helping children identify कि एक safe और unsafe परिस्थिति क्या है, एक safe और unsafe touch क्या है. And
Absolutely.
helping children so that they are able to recognize कि ये मेरे लिए असुरक्षित है. This is unsafe for me. And encouraging children that in that situation, you have to tell a trusted adult and seek help. And like Swatiji said, it's been encouraging when children come back and help their own friends and peers. Very often, children encourage their friends. We've had lovely instances from schools where children have helped their friends in going and informing their trusted adults and taking help. Manisha ma'am, as an educator, what are the roadblocks in integrating child protection in the system?
Okay, so see, I believe school system is a triangular system where parents, students, and teachers or educators are at its three vertices, and with the base of the triangle is the management or the leaders. I think this is the most important factor where the need of child protection is felt. If leaders or management feels everything is goody goody, hunky dory, then we just cannot move forward. The first and foremost requirement is to make it mandatory to have child protection guidelines in place. Little delay or say casual approach from the leaders can take many lives for a toss. So regular follow-up meetings and awareness with all leaders is the need of the hour, I feel. At least in metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, or Delhi, we are talking about it. But in the interiors or villages, there is still a taboo or a stigma to address about sexual abuse issues. And so regular checkpoints are necessary to see whether child protection education is it's implemented or no. That's the first important factor. Then the second important factor I feel is parents. Parents can be a big challenge, as I said, if they are not involved. It's important to enroll parents with us while educating children about personal safety. Very often parents think there is no harm from relatives or friends. ये तो अपना ही है, kind of uncle है, auntie है, whatever. Or even for that matter, nowadays, that myth that boys are safe. But if parents are well oriented, then there will be less resistance from them, and they will also support their children and seek help wherever required. And what is being taught in school, hum school se kitna bhi kare, but unless and until parents reinforce that, things are not going to work out. And that is why parents need to reinforce what is being taught in school. I remember there was an incident wherein one parent narrated an incident. Okay, they had gone for a relative's wedding, and her daughter experienced an unsafe touch. Okay, from one of an elderly uncle. And this daughter, she came to her mother and she told that ye uncle ne yahan touch kiya hai. Okay, now this mother, she immediately called everyone who had gathered for the wedding together and announced it in front of everyone, all the guests, and also threatened that uncle, dare you do this again. And all the people who were gathered, relatives and guests, they supported the mother, and they also gave good dose of advice to this uncle. So the point is to create more such parents who are aware and not afraid or shy to address about sexual issues, and openly talk and support their children. When children need help, first thing they will go to their parents, and that is why we need to enroll the parents with us. It's very important to involve parents with us. So I feel this is another important point where parents, we need to take them with us. And yes, as I said, important factor, important part of education system is educators. Okay, now it's an educators as in approach and attitude of educators. When a child learns the rules of safety education, to look into the eyes of the person and say no, you should see how confidently the child says. Do we think that no will remain only for sexual abuse? No, that learning is going not like, it's going to be in every walk of life. It's not only for sexual abuse. So when educators try to impose their views on students, or they're not like, so students are not going to take it very easily. It's okay, you can shout at me at any point, you can impose your views, you can force me to talk about it. I will not do it. That is what children think. So educators need to be a step ahead and be prepared, or sometimes just open enough to accept their own drawbacks. It's okay. And also to accept gracefully the fact that students are vocal. We have trained them to talk, we have trained them to express themselves, so they will express themselves or whatever they feel. Educators also need to be mature enough so that they are beyond this power struggle with students and treat them only as children, giving them a helping hand wherever required, and of course learn from them as well, because ultimately we are educators and we are constant learners. At this point, I feel what Arpan is doing is an amazing job, and what we need to do, as Anilji also said, that help them create this ripple effect, so that more such organizations are created, to the extent that every educational organization, as Swati ji also mentioned, from 2 years to 15, 16 years or 18 years of old, they will also start thinking like Arpan and strongly oppose child sexual abuse and take firm steps to prevent it. After all, child protection is not the matter to be written in letter, but it has to be taken in spirit by everyone, by all adults. It's our duty, it's our moral responsibility, I feel. Yeah, that's what I feel. These are major roadblocks, and if all of us support each other, then we can take this issue ahead. And right now the major responsibility is to create that ripple effects. Let's multiply it, let's take it ahead. Let's produce more and more organizations by creating this awareness, where there is zero tolerance level for sexual abuse, or for that matter any kind of abuse to children, and create safe environment for our children. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to take a question from the audience at this point. We have a question saying that it was inspiring to hear that educators are involved in teaching safety messages. However, how can we ensure that these messages won't get diluted with translation of the message in various regional languages? I think this is an important question with respect to how do we scale this across the country. Pandey ji, what are your thoughts on this?
Yes, रीजनल लैंग्वेज में एक्चुअली इसको ये जो थॉट्स हैं इसको काफी एक्चुअली क्या है कि हम अगर इस चीज की बात करें तो सबसे पहले हमें एक कनेक्ट करना पड़ेगा किसी भी चीज के लिए, चाहे वो रीजनल लैंग्वेज, बच्चे के जो अपने लैंग्वेज हैं उन बच्चों को उसी लैंग्वेज में हमें किसी न किसी रूप में कनेक्ट करना पड़ेगा। मैं थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चन को एक्चुअली मैं कहीं दूसरी तरह लिख रहा था तो इसलिए प्रॉपर ये क्वेश्चन को मैं समझ नहीं, फिर से आप एक वो रिपीट करेंगे ये क्वेश्चन को क्या? हेलो,
क्वेश्चन ये है कि रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस में जब हम ये ट्रांसलेट करते हैं तो की मैसेजेस कहीं ट्रांसलेशन में लूज ना हो जाए, हाउ डू वी एंश्योर कि जो एसेंस है मैसेज का वो अभी भी सही तरीके से देश भर में जाए?
अच्छा, ये सॉरी मैं कहीं एक्चुअली एक मैसेज में कहीं कुछ लिख रहा था, सॉरी मैं बीच में थोड़ा सा वो प्रॉब्लम हो गई थी। यस, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है क्योंकि हमें जो इसको जो एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लैंग्वेज है हमारा, जो भी हमारे पास अभी रीजन में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में भी रीजनल लैंग्वेज को हमने लिया है, तो हमारे जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लैंग्वेज है उससे अलग हटकर हमको रीजन वाइज इस चीज को देखना पड़ेगा, रीजन के लोगों को इसको लाना पड़ेगा। क्योंकि जैसे हम अपने दिल्ली में ही देख रहे हैं, हमारे दिल्ली में डिफरेंट कम्युनिटी के लोग हैं, एक साथ कई कम्युनिटी रह रहे हैं। हमारे यहाँ जो मल्टी कल्चरल लोग यहाँ रह रहे हैं, डिफरेंट कल्चर के लोग, इनके साथ एक चीज आ रही है कि जब हम स्कूल में आते हैं तो इनके साथ इनकी जो फीलिंग है उनको हम बात कर पाए, लेकिन उनसे बात करने के लिए उनके साथ कनेक्ट होना बहुत जरूरी है। कनेक्ट होने का मतलब है कि वो अपनी बात को खुलकर बता पाए। जब तक आप कनेक्ट नहीं होंगे किसी के साथ, किन्हीं के साथ भी कनेक्ट नहीं होंगे, चाहे वो किसी भी लैंग्वेज में बोल रहे हैं, तब तक वो आपके साथ खुलेंगे नहीं। आप बीइंग ए टीचर, आप उस चीज को बात कर रहे हैं तो शायद बच्चे भी नहीं खुलेंगे, पेरेंट्स भी नहीं खुलेंगे। उनको जब ये कंफर्ट जोन फील होगा कि हम एक टीचर हैं, टीचर नहीं बल्कि हमारे लिए वर्क कर रहे हैं, हमारे बच्चे के वेलफेयर के लिए वर्क कर रहे हैं, बच्चे के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, तो वो बच्चे भी खुलते हैं अपने टीचर्स के पास, बहुत सारी चीजें बोलते हैं, हमारे लिए नहीं बोलते हैं, अदर चीजों के लिए बोलते हैं, और वो बड़ा क्लियरली बोलते हैं। फिर जब हम इंकरेज करते हैं उनको बोलने के लिए, तो वो बोल जाते हैं कि सर मेरा नाम नहीं बताइएगा, लेकिन मैं आपसे बोल रहा हूं फिर भी इस चीज को, तो वो हम उस लैंग्वेज, तो हमको जुड़ना पड़ता है उनके साथ। ये चीजों को, ये मैसेज को फिर तब उस रूप में हमको उन लोगों के साथ क्या कहते हैं कि जो पेरेंट्स हैं उनके साथ जोड़ना पड़ेगा। अभी एक चीज आपने ये बहुत अच्छी चीज बताई है कि जिसमें पेरेंट्स की बात कर रहे हैं, हम कह रहे हैं कि मदर्स को इस चीज के लिए बहुत ट्रेनिंग देनी पड़ेगी। मदर्स को, फादर को इसके लिए बहुत ज्यादा है, लेकिन मदर्स को हमको इंपावर करना पड़ेगा। जैसे अभी झारखंड में भी हमारे ये है कि मदर टीचर एसोसिएशन बना, केरला में है हमारे मदर टीचर एसोसिएशन बना, वहां मदर आती हैं, मदर उन बच्चों की फीलिंग के साथ उनके साथ जुड़ती हैं, जो भी उनके, चाहे वो हिंदी में हो या इंग्लिश में हो, वो टीचर इतने कनेक्ट हैं मदर के साथ, वो मदर के साथ वो लैंग्वेज में बात करते हैं, मदर उसको समझती हैं और फिर उनको अवेयर करते हैं, बच्चों को उस तरह से सिखाती हैं। तो इसलिए हमें कहीं ना कहीं रीजन का प्रभाव, रीजनल लैंग्वेज का इसका नहीं है, बल्कि उनके रीजन के जो पेरेंट्स हैं, रीजन के जो टीचर्स हैं उस लैंग्वेज के, उनके साथ जुड़कर, उनके कनेक्ट होकर उनके साथ बात करनी होगी। मेरा यही चीज है कि ये, और दूसरा है कि मीडिया का इसमें बहुत ज्यादा रोल होगा इस चीज के लिए, चाहे वो टीवी हो, रेडियो हो, न्यूज़पेपर्स हो, या मूवीज हो, प्लेज हो, आर्ट हो, म्यूजिक हो, इन चीजों के थ्रू अगर हम रीजनल लैंग्वेज के साथ हम उनको कनेक्ट कर पाए, ताकि वो बच्चों तक और पेरेंट्स तक पहुंच पाएगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, Pandeyji. So I think the key thing that I hear Pandeyji saying here is that yes, we can work on simple messages, involve media, so that we ensure we reach out across all languages. The other piece that one can do across, and here I would like to say it's been very encouraging to see the government take various initiatives to integrate personal safety into curriculum. At a state level, Arpan's been working with Delhi, with Bihar, with Maharashtra. Some of these states have created child safety modules for teachers at their end. As Pandeyji was saying, Delhi is considering including personal safety in school curriculum for children. At a national level now, the health ministry and the education ministry have got together to ensure that some personal safety messages have also got included in the school health program under the Ayushman Bharat initiative. Now here the key is that each state has a resource group who get trained in the common language of, say, English or Hindi. And then we rely on this resource group to translate these messages and ensure that the key essence of the messages have not been lost. So I think those are some of the ways that we can look at. And I think another very important piece brought in here is, of course, the synergy across different stakeholders. Dr. Swati, what are your thoughts on creating a synergy between different stakeholders and different adults working with children to ensure child protection is integrated?
I think regular meetings, coming on the same page, understanding each other's problems and sharing solutions. I think that works the best. Whether it is government schools, ECA has always been trying to bridge this gap between government schools and private schools. In fact, in all our conferences, we've told private schools, you all should work on a policy of adopting your nearest government school and ensuring that your materials, your training is shared with them. So that is another model which we had worked off with in the ECA, is each private school which is our member should go and approach either their nearest Anganwadi or their nearest Balwadi and share the resources for child sexual abuse prevention with them. Take a session with them, because sometimes doing it on a large scale for an entire state becomes cumbersome for one association. So we brought in our members and asked them to go approach And we send them with two presentations. One was for the parents and children, of course, on good touch, bad touch. But one was for the parents and teachers on POCSO. It's very important that they understand the POCSO Act and that it is a punishable offense. Especially peons, etc., that work in schools, bus drivers, ayahs, because boys are also at a threat. You know, sometimes we only take these sessions for the males, but the females can also be guilty of child sexual abuse. So it becomes very important that we share resources and we reach out to each other and make this a community feeling. You know, as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to keep a child safe also. So it's very, very important that schools, parents, organizations like ours must come together on a forum and share best practices, share problems, share issues, share what has worked, not worked, and then come out with solutions that everybody can use. I think when we do that on a regular basis, more and more children can be touched, more and more parents can be touched with education, rather than children suffering this child sexual abuse, which is still quite rampant in our society.
Thank you so much, Dr. Swati. I think absolutely right. We need to work not just, you know, while we teach children about personal safety and we're teaching children to seek help and to identify an unsafe touch and tell their adults, it's important to do these sessions with the adults, with all the key caregivers in a child's life, be it parents, be it teachers, be it non-teaching staff in the school, so that they know what is appropriate. They understand what is appropriate. Like Dr. Swati said earlier, also parents also need to understand to respect the child's agency, not insist on hugging the child, but most importantly, so that they also know how to respond when a child discloses.
Yes.
I think those are some critical aspects, and therefore, yes, synergy, extremely, extremely critical. We'll take a few more questions from the audience now. Manisha ma'am, there's a question that says, after a child discloses to parents about what they have gone through or that they have gone through abuse, and if the parents are not supportive and end up blaming the child, and what role can the school play to support the student here?
Yes, what happens is when a child, there is a standard procedure that we follow in the school. When the child says, when there is a disclosure, you know, there are a team of counselors who meet the children, and also we make sure that children are not harassed asking questions again and again. Parents are taken into confidence. Okay, it's very important to enroll parents, as I say it again and again, because parents are the ones who have to understand the importance of this, like, you know, talking about this issue very openly. And that's the reason the first thing that we do is talking to the child, like the counselors, okay, who talk to the children. Parents are also involved wherever required, and the steps are being taken so that child, and then, like, if depending on the severity of the case or the abuse, children are given counseling. Parents are also, like, you know, given sessions based on the severity of the problem, and we see to it that how child is, like, you know, how child comes out of it. If it has happened, like, even in personal safety education, the one of the most important rule says that, you know, it's not your fault. So I think these things, like these factors, these things are endorsed in child's mind, that it's not your fault. And when we talk to them about this, slowly children are also brought back to normal. But the whole thing, the whole procedure, it happens very, very systematically and in a very, very sensitive way. There's a tremendous confidentiality that is maintained, and so that, you know, both children as well as parents feel safe to talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. This has indeed been an extremely enriching discussion. And once again, thank you very much to all our panelists who've taken out the time to come here today and join us for this. Some of the key messages from this session would be that prevention is possible. So let's focus on prevention. Let's not wait to respond after the episode has happened. It is very, very critical to start educating children about personal safety at a very young age. Start as young as 2, as Dr. Swati shared with you. Schools are integrating prevention-based programs, have found it beneficial for children as well as for their caregivers, both parents, teachers, and all staff. And school-based prevention programs can be scaled. But towards this, public-private partnership is extremely critical, as without the strategic deployment of the government machinery, it will be impossible to successively achieve scale and to ensure a safe childhood for children across the country. Thank you so much to all our panelists for taking out the time today and for our audience. We're glad that you found this session extremely useful. And thank you once again to all our panelists for taking out the time. Good evening and namaskar to all of you. Thank you so much.